This is the Washington Times front page for Thursday, May 27th, 2021. Thanks for joining us. I'm George Gerbo. The blacklisting of Chinese companies has not stopped their technology and products from entering the United States, leaving lawmakers searching for a solution. Ryan Lovelace reports the U.S. government prohibited federal agencies from using certain products, but video surveillance research company IPVM said it uncovered municipalities, local government facilities, and schools that are continuing to buy those products. The federal government blacklisted and restricted the acquisition and use of products from companies in several ways, including with legislation, the Commerce Department's entity list, and the Federal Communications Commission's covered list. Video technology companies Hikvision and Dahua are far from the only Chinese-based companies hit with restrictions. The 2018 defense bill passed by Congress also blocked the federal government's use of Huawei and ZTE equipment. In foreign affairs, diplomats and observers say although President Joe Biden's tone on Russia is tougher than his predecessors, his approach so far is similar to that of former President Trump. Ben Wolfgang reports the defining moves during the first months of the new administration differ little from the previous one on Russia, such as economic sanctions against Kremlin officials and U.S. weapon sales to Ukraine. Former U.S. diplomat Donald Jensen told Ben the Biden White House so far has presented a much more coherent narrative on U.S.-Russia relations than the often muddled messages of the Trump era. Trump was knocked by Democrats for being a tool of the Kremlin who was unwilling to stand up to Russian President Vladimir Putin. President Biden's pick to lead the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, David Chipman, had his day in front of senators ahead of his confirmation vote. Justice Department correspondent Jeff Murdoch reports Chipman said he would support a ban of the AR-15 assault rifle similar to the one that existed in the 1990s. He said he supports regulating it in the same way as other particularly lethal weapons. Chipman acknowledged, though, that he wasn't aware of any data that support claims that a ban would be effective. He said studies on whether a ban would reduce gun violence have reached mixed conclusions. A reminder that you can find all these stories at WashingtonTimes.com/front page. Don't have access to the Times yet? Visit WashingtonTimes.com/George to get 25% off your annual subscription. The rate of coronavirus cases has plummeted in the United States, but on the southern U.S. border with Mexico, illegal immigrants are crossing with elevated rates of infections, according to Texas Congressman Henry Cuellar. Stephen Dinan reports the Democratic member, who represents Texas's 28th district that includes a large portion of the border, said officials in Laredo are seeing a 6% COVID-19 positive rate among the migrants. That's double the current rate across the country. Cuellar said the number of migrants has grown so large that Laredo's nonprofit organizations aren't able to handle all the people the Border Patrol is sending for testing and quarantine. Some migrants are being released directly to bus stations, where they wait to head deeper into the country. And finally, Rowan Scarborough looks at the work of New York State Attorney General Letitia James. The Wall Street Journal, New York Times, and others have reported that James, along with Manhattan District Attorney Cyrus Vance, is looking how the Trump organization valued their properties to gain millions of dollars in loans. The prosecutors also won a legal battle to obtain tax returns from Trump and the organization. Find all of today's front page stories at WashingtonTimes.com/front page or on the Washington Times app, and subscribe for free to the front page. Just search Washington Times on your favorite podcast platforms. You can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram at WashTimes for breaking news, sports, commentary, and more. For the Washington Times, I'm George Gerbo.